hard last name to pronounce, I guess, for foreigners or not Dutch people. Thank you. So yeah, this is an extension to my previous talk about, well, I will extend on it eventually on the accessibility matters, and also an extension of my previous presentation in India. There I also covered the executable document templates, for example. Let's skip this one. So the context this day will be about government correspondence, or cases, I guess. Contracts disclosure files with sensitive data. So, for example, in the Netherlands, we can request a freedom of information request, and then the government has to get into all those files, blacken out all those sensitive information, and it's all done by hand, poor people. And it's error prone, that's one thing. It's a lot of work. Yeah, and you actually don't want to make any mistake in these cases. So I would like to give them an illustration on how to do it better, or at least, yeah, but it's not Word. That's for the Dutch people a big issue. So it's about structure, data, and context. So normally I would just leave out the values and instead show placeholders. That's where I created Lua placeholders for. But for their case, that's not good enough. It has to match the exact document, only the sensitive information blacked out, and preferably not the real information behind it once you inspect the PDF. I didn't do it like Ulrike has shown on Thursday, but I will eventually do the sanity check, I guess. So I will first demonstrate the recipe-only approach. So this isn't good enough for them, but then again, but it should be, I would see this as the most safe option. So for example, this is the plain document. So Mr. Smith, that's who is it appointed to, so that's sensitive, and there's a lot of other sensitive information. So this is normally what you'll find if you're opening a Word document. No placeholders or no variables or nothing. So that's the second stage. We have to apply those. So we'll check all variables, we placeholder them, and we have data, a payload, and then the actual, or the filled in example looks like this box here. So if we leave the values out, we see the placeholder names. I think this is a way better approach because it's actually saying what it is, like applicant name, national ID, and applicant address, which gives a meaning, and then you also may have an idea why it's redacted in the first place. Yeah, but it's the wrong shape, so placeholder values aren't the same as an actual value, and the values can actually differ. So we have to do another approach. So I will be black barring, and firstly I will do it a bit naively. Just the LaTeX way, I guess, but you'll notice maybe that it's not the same as it was. Maybe go back. No, this one. So you see the last value, it has a line break in it. and here it isn't, and we'll get spaced out a bit. So this isn't a nice solution, so we'll have to do something better. And in those cases, I will go to Lua. And in specific, the post-line break filter. And you can see the full implementation in the preprint on page 25 till 27. So this was my first attempt in Lua. And if you're looking very closely, you'll see a hairline over here. I didn't see it in the preprint, so printing actually works. But yeah, mostly you'll get a digital version of it, so you'll see those hairlines. And they're not seamless. It would be nice if we could get this together and as well as this. I mean, that's what I mostly see. So we have to attach it to each other. Oh, no. No. We're first covering my typical mistake. First do some research. What packages are already there? Yeah, and it's exactly this stage where I thought, oops, again, I forgot to do my research. So let's cover those existing packages first before submitting another package to C10 or something. So we have the sensor package, Lua sensor package, which is a Lua-based one, and src redact, which isn't the same, but it showed up when I searched redact on C10. So let's take a look at those packages. So this one, the downside of this one is it can't hyphenate. So it won't get that exact spacing I was talking about earlier. So yeah, I would not use this one as a robust version. And then the Lua sensor does actually some weird stuff with the spacing. It randomizes. And if we zoom in, you'll see here some notches. I'm not comfortable with that as well. And like I said, this package doesn't provide a bar at all. So let's skip that one. So back to the bar. 2 flaws to fix. So I talked about the hairline, and I want to have it in a seamless bar. And this is my second approach, and I left out the code, I guess. Yep. And you'll see it will get broken down on the line break. It will include the spacing of the hyphenate, and I filter out the disks, which were the reason why the hairline was there at some cases. And yeah, okay. So those that's it. It's the spaces are tricky. So it can be shorter than a space or larger than a space. So you'll have to calculate that. I don't know if the code in the preprint is fully robust for every situation. I've tried some, and if you want the minimal working example I have created for it, well, please ask me. I'm happy to provide you the full source code. So what do we gain? Anonymization, which is structural, not cosmetic. We can reuse it. So I chose to grab on Lua placeholders, which is handy for variables. And you can typically split up namespaces like client data, which you want to redact, for example, so you can just fully redact that data in one time. And it's reproducible. Same recipe plus payload, same PDF. And yeah, the typographic quality is, well, as I would like to see it. But there's also another use case. So, for example, in Dutch law, there are some rules like a sentence which endangers the security of the state. So this isn't a variable. This is in prose, right? Like in the text somewhere. So you'll have to also be able to do that. But since we already created the engine in Lua, we can just simply make an environment for that. So you will see those attributes in the preprint, and now we can wrap it around in the environment so the sentence is blackened out as well and also has the same spacing, etc. So what I said earlier, like the placeholders are actually giving some information. And now I didn't write something to include the legal ground, but it should. Like you want to address why you are redacting something, so you can choose which grounds you actually want to redact for a specific case. And there's I just had texts, but maybe dates, numbers, tables, etc., or figures I forgot to include. Those are as well may have to be redacted at some point. And the build flag gates, well, I did create a public implementation which showcases how you can extend Lua LaTeX options. So what I would think would be a good approach is having build flags on the command line, which you can give legal grounds, and then you don't even have to touch the sources and get a variable redacted version of the document. But maybe you also have ideas. So thank you for listening.
Thank you for talking. So are there any questions for Erik? I hope so, because we're really ahead of time. So.
Yeah, but we also have a very important presentation afterwards.
Yes, maybe. You have a question? For sure, Carl.
So my question is, how did you come to write this? I'm guessing the Dutch government did not ask you, but maybe they did.
No, the Dutch government certainly didn't ask me. The Dutch government is very heavy Microsoft based, so they only use Word, also at universities. But however, I wanted to showcase some advanced Lua features. So this includes the line break filter, which is very useful.
So there's another question. Marcel?
Not really a question, more of a remark regarding, you mentioned that you have do some calculation to determine the real size of glue if it potentially stretches or shrinks. There is actually a built-in LaTeX function where you can call the internal calculation for that. You just have to pass in the outer box and it gives you exactly the right size.
Thanks.
Are there further questions? Yes. So here you go.
I realize that the government doesn't have to make sense, but if it's important to preserve the original formatting, it seems that that leaks a lot of information. For instance, if there's a name that's either your name or my name, your name is longer, someone can tell which it is. And all the more so when it's preserving things like breaks between words and sentences. So I think that this kind of thing that they're requiring comes from trying to simulate going over with the black marker. But is there any move towards trying to do something that would be more secure?
Yeah, I would simply use the Lua placeholder default stuff, like showing the placeholders instead of giving away its length.
I mean getting them to accept that.
Getting, well, they're pretty ignorant, so I won't, I won't succeed in any way in that. Yeah.
They use Microsoft, so I don't think they have an issue with that. Okay, further questions? Yes, Jasper.
I'm really sorry. This is really pedantic, and probably not me is the best person to say this. But there is a really cool Lua function called register tech command that lets you interface with Lua and call Lua functions from tech macros. Max wrote it, and I love using it for interfacing. It might. I noticed you were using direct Lua with big commands in it, and I just thought I would mention that. Sorry.
Thanks. Further questions? Boris, do you have questions for us? None questions so far. So thanks a lot, Erik.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, our next speaker is John Lienhardt from the MIT. He's a mechanical engineer at the Water and Mechanical Engineering Department at the MIT. Especially he's known